Hey everyone, welcome to another video. Today we are playing Quackshots for the Sega Mega Drive. I had never heard or played this game before until now, because it got requested to me by a few of you awesome people. This game consists of 31 achievements worth 323 points on the RetroAchievements website. In this game, we play as Donald Duck. He finds an old book in his Uncle Scrooge's study, and in that book, Donald reads about a great duck treasure of one of the biggest duck treasure hunters. In that same book, there is also part of a map. Full of excitement, he runs home to tell his girlfriend Daisy. But one of Pete's henchmen was eavesdropping on him, so they end up following us. Donald heads home and brings his nephews Huey, Dewey, and Louie with him, together with his plane. But Daisy is not too happy about that. Donald promises her he will bring home something special for her. They leave with the plane, while being followed by Pete and his gang. Now that you know the story about the game, let's dive right into it. We open the treasure map we found in the book, and we get to choose between 3 places: Duckburg, Mexico, and Transylvania. But let's just do them in order. So first we go to Duckburg. The plane lands and we finally get to play. As Donald, we can jump, sprint, and our main mode of attack is using our plunger gun. Yikes, Donald, not that way of using it. Now I know why you guys recommended this game to me, you weirdos. Anyway, we use the plunger to stun our enemy. While they are stunned and shaky, they cannot deal damage towards us. For now, there doesn't seem to be a way to defeat our enemies permanently. Luckily for us, Donald has a high temper, and he doesn't need much to get angry. He even gets mad eating spicy food. For every chili pepper we collect, our temper meter in the bottom left corner gets more full. And when we collect 5 of them, this happens. For a short moment, Donald unleashes all his rage and can defeat any enemy instantly, while he is being invulnerable himself. We even get our first achievement for it, called Quack Attack Ducksburg, for eating 5 chili peppers in Duckburg. We go past these caterpillars who jump from garbage can to garbage can, and near the end of the level, we meet this dog-like creature who's called Garo, who tells us we won't be able to go much further without the right tools to climb high walls. That made me a bit confused, because we literally have an unlimited supply of plungers. Donald also puts down some sort of flag I thought would do as a checkpoint. Now after I tried jumping on the wall with my plungers a few times and going back and forth in the level, I finally found out what I had to do. By pressing the start button, we open up our inventory system, and if we open it up near the flag we planted earlier, we can call our plane and pick another place on the map we can go to. That is such an awesome feature, especially for such an early game. This makes backtracking actually fun. But as we check our map again, it is time to go to our next destination, Mexico. Here, the enemies get a little more tough. We have this strange cactus monster that can dodge our attack by destroying and reassembling himself instantly. The enemies in this game can also drop various consumables, like a money bag that adds points to our overall score. And if we collect 100,000 points, we get an extra life for it. Pete's gang also makes a comeback here, and this one even drops an ice cream for us. By picking it up, you can see it refills our health bar by 1. A little bit further in the level, we have to jump on these platforms that these crab people throw upwards in order to not fall into the sinking sand. By standing still on it, we can collect an extra life in the form of a hat, and another ice cream cone to refill our HP. We also pick up some sort of corn, but that's for later. We keep going towards the right, where the platforming gets a little bit more difficult. The pillars start moving, while we are getting bombarded with bees from birds that drop them on us. But nothing we can handle, honestly. We can just stun the birds and we can continue on. We also have to be careful of these dynamite pumps, because when we go past them, an explosion follows us until the end of the ledge. When we reach the end of the level, we get stopped by, I think, is a sloth? She tells us we need a special key to get into the ruins. She tells us a team of explorers return to Duckburg with the key. Donald brings up his best flirting skills and says thank you to the sweet señorita, and he plants another flag for his plane. So as the señorita says, we fly back to Duckburg, We ask the dog Gyro if he has seen the key, and he seems to actually have it. As soon as we claim to be a hero, he gives us the key just like that. We go back to the flag we planted earlier, and we travel back to Mexico with our plane. We use our inventory system to select and use the key, and open the door. When we go inside, we get the Hero Key achievement. Inside, we dodge dangerous flames, we head deeper inside of the temple, we pick up a full health refill in the form of a roast chicken. Isn't that considered as cannibalism? Anyway, we go even deeper into the temple where we meet a new enemy that throws fireballs at us. But just like the rest of them, we can stun them by using our plunger gun. We also have to dodge some spikes attached to the wall and floor. At the end of the hallway, we see moving platforms that damage us. We have to use our gun to stun the platforms in place so we can reach the top, and there you meet no one else than Goofy himself. No idea how he got in here without using the hero key, but he found a strange note while looking around in this temple. He gives it to us as he has no idea what to do with it. He also gives us a brand new red plunger that unlocks a new ability for us. He also tells us that Garo is looking for us in Duckburg. We also collect the new heights achievements for acquiring the red plunger. We back easily to the beginning of the temple where we order our plane to pick us up and bring us back to Duckburg. We get the World Tour Mexico achievement for getting every mandatory item here. Once we arrive, we can see that Garo is gone, and we have this huge brick wall in front of us. Now if we shoot on it with our red plunger, it sticks to the wall and creates platforms we can jump on so we can reach higher places. The next section of the level is some sort of tutorial level where the game teaches us how to use our new plunger efficiently. We also meet two new enemies, a turtle that hides in his shell when we come too close, and a speaker that shoots a projectile in the word boom to us. In the next section, we get an autoscroller. Here we have to hold on and jump from pulley to pulley while dodging cables filled with electricity. At the end of this little parkour, we meet Gyro. He asks us to try out his newest invention, the bubblegum ammo. When we put it in our shooter, we can create exploding bubbles. He also tells us when we run out of ammo, we can always get back to him. What a nice guy. We also get the bubblegum shooter achievement for it. After looking what to do next, I remember we still have a place to go we never visited before. We make our way back to the flagpole and call our airplane. We get the World Tour Duckburg achievements for collecting every mandatory item in Duckburg. Next, we make our way to Transylvania. The level sets a creepy vibe here, and it is filled with bats we have to dodge. This gives me PTSD back to Castle of Illusions with Mickey Mouse, but luckily, these ones are not that difficult to dodge. We also have to jump over some weird gooey substances that kill us instantly when we fall into it. We finally reach the end of the path where we plant another flag for our plane, and where we come across an entrance of Dracula's castle. When we go inside, we meet this friendly ghost. At first I thought it was friendly. He tells us that Dracula is holding the real map of the treasure we are looking for. We also see why Gyro gave us this exploding bubblegum. When we select it in our inventory, we can use it to shoot down these walls. We can also use it to shoot down these barrels, which can sometimes contain useful items, like a 1-up or a health refill. And we can also use it to finally permanently destroy an enemy, instead of just stunning them. But of course, our ammo is limited. When we go deeper into the level, we meet some skeletons. We can easily stun with our plunger. We go through a door where we meet some ghosts we cannot defeat, and also not stun. The only thing we can do is our expert dodging skills. A little bit further in the level, we hear a mechanism trigger and a giant wall in front of us. We use our plungers to climb higher and higher into the wall as fast as we can. We make it with some good time left, until we were crushed. We pick up some bubblegum ammo and destroy the barrels so we can go to the next section of the castle. There we meet some kind of ghost baron. When we get too close, he splits up into multiple little ones. If we keep going, it's just an infinite loop of the same hallway over and over again, until we find a secret hole in the wall. We use our plunger to get up into the secret passageway, and here we see a door that leads us to our first boss fight, Dracula. You might have noticed I suddenly have 27 lives. And there is a good explanation for that. And we definitely need them for the upcoming achievements. But I'll explain it exactly how I did it later in the video. Back to the boss fight now. This is one of the most annoying ones of the game, especially because you have to defeat him without getting damaged. Dracula doesn't really have an attack pattern, but he releases his bats that fly everywhere, trying to hit us. After failing a few times, we check back in our inventory, and I notice we have another ammo type, the popcorn. I think this is the perfect boss fight for it, because we hit all 4 bats and the boss at the same time, making it super easy to defeat him. We glide on our stomach to dodge the incoming bats, we swap back to our bubblegum ammo, and we deal the final hit. Defeating the boss gives us the Count Duckula achievement, and the Like a Belmont achievement for defeating the boss without getting hit. When we defeat the boss, we pick up the real treasure map and make our way to the exit. Now before we leave, I'll show you exactly how I got so many lives. When we go back and forth into a section that has a loading screen, every enemy, consumable, etc. gets reset. So if we go back into the castle and get to the part where the 1-up is hidden inside the barrels, we use our bubblegum shooter to reveal it and pick up the 1-up. We need a total of 4 shots to get to the 1-up. And when we are out of ammo, we can just go to Gyro to refill it for free, so we can basically keep doing this trick whenever we like to. Pretty cool, right? When we farm a bit of lives again, we call our airplane and leave this creepy area, giving us the World Tour Transylvania achievement for collecting every mandatory item in Transylvania. When we go back to our map, we can see that we can visit a lot more places now. And the first one will be the Viking ship. Here, there are enemies hidden in barrels that try to shoot us with bow and arrow. After they do that, they hide back in their barrel, so we have to hit them as soon as they come back up again. We also have platforms that break when we walk on them in order to make us fall into a pit and one-shot us, reducing 1 life. In the next section of the level, we meet the Viking captain of the ship, and he has terrible news. His ship has been taken over by ghosts, and if we help him to get his ship back, he will give the diary that will help us find the treasure. In order to get into the hidden trapdoor, we need the Viking's lost Viking key. We don't have that yet, so Donald plants another flag, and we take another look on the map to travel to another place. This time, we will go to Egypt. Here, we have this pyramid we can climb on that is infused with turtles. When we shoot on them, we get some more chili peppers. And you know what that means. When we get 5 of them, our rage skyrockets again and Donald gets in rage mode, defeating everyone that's in his way, while also giving us the Quack Attack Egypt achievement. Near the end of the section, a closed door stops us in our path, we can't go inside yet. So we go back to our plane and we travel to Maharaja. I probably don't have the right pronunciation for this. In this stage, some sort of glitch happens. Because I picked up an extra chili pepper in Egypt, my rage counter stayed at 1. So when I picked up 4 more here, the Quack Attack started, but I didn't get the achievement, because you need 5. Luckily, when we die, all enemies respawn, so I could pick up that last chili pepper. It still gave us the achievement, but without a Quack Attack this time. Here we also have an enemy that shoots music notes at us, and when we get hit by it, we get stunned, and the snake on top of his head comes towards us and damages us. And the snake really looks a lot like Kaa from Jungle Book. A little bit further in the level, we see this big palace and we enter it. Inside we find a princess that challenges us to defeat the tiger, and if we succeed, we get the sphinx tear that's lying on that pillow. Here we have to beat some kind of puzzle. There are 6 doors numbered 1 to 6, of which some are duplicated. If we climb up this wall after going through door number 4, and after we enter door number 2 at the top, we reach another hallway. There we take door number 6, and it leads us to the boss fight, which looks like a pregnant version of Shere Khan, also from Jungle Book by the way. This boss fight is much easier than the previous one. His patterns exist of jumping from left to right on ground level, and after a few times he jumps up the platform, shooting a barrage of fire at us. But if we just stand beneath him, we can easily dodge it. The plunger is the best choice of weapon here, but we do have to aim quite well because we can only hit him on the back of his head. After we repeat this a few times, we get the Tiger Shere Khan achievement for defeating the boss and the Tiger Challenge achievement for defeating the boss without taking a single hit. We go back to the princess and we receive the Sphinx tier. We get out the palace and call our plane. When we are back on the world map, we get the World Tour Maharaja achievement for getting every mandatory item here. Up next, we take our plane and go to the South Pole. It's really slippery here, and Donald has to fight off some penguins. We slide off some mountains until we come across this key frozen in ice. And Donald plants his flag near it, so it must be important. We take a look into the next section, and we come near a giant pit we cannot jump over. And Donald doesn't want to use his plane for such a short distance. So we take our plane back to Egypt, where we planted the flag earlier. We use the Sphinx tier on the temple door, giving us the Sphinx tier achievement. We are about halfway into this video, and I just want to say thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Consider leaving a like and a comment, and subscribe for more retro runs with 100% retro achievements. Let me know in the comments which your favorite part was, and let me know which game you would love to see next. Here our sticky plunges really come in handy, as we have to shoot the wall to get on top and over it. We also find our first secret room here, getting some ammo and health refills, as well as skipping a huge chunk of the level together with some deadly traps. I didn't even know this game had secret rooms. I wonder how many we missed. In the next section, we dodge fireballs falling down from the ceiling and make sure we don't go too slow because some platforms fall away under our feet. Up next, when we go to the next section, a pillar blocks our way behind us and we don't have enough time to climb the wall as the ceiling is coming down trying to crush us. I had no idea what to do here, but then I suddenly remember Goofy giving us a mysterious note at the beginning of the game. When we read that note, it says 1 sun, 2 moon, 3 star. And if you look on the floor, you see those exact symbols. So we press in the symbols in that order and the wall goes up again, right on time. That gives us the "That was close" achievement. We climb the wall and we find our next artifact, the Scepter of Ra. As we go down the ladder, it breaks off and sets us into a minecart section. We just have to time our jumps right to get to the exit. Not that hard, to be honest. We take our plane and leave Egypt, giving us the World Tour Egypt achievement for collecting every mandatory item in Egypt. Up next, we take the plane back to the South Pole and we use Ra's scepter on the ice from earlier, melting it and revealing the Viking key, while also giving us the Scepter of Ra achievement for using it. We take the Viking key back to the Viking ship, and there we can use the Viking key to open the trapdoor. In doing so, it gives us the Viking key achievement. Now this section is filled with ghosts and Vikings trying to defeat us. We also meet this berserker buff Pete. We have to hit several times in order to stun him. This section is actually a big loophole. Right we go down the ladder and left we go up the ladder. Now this took me a while to realize, but we had to find a secret passageway inside the barrels, destroying them with our bubblegum ammo, and on the inside we find a strange door. When we enter it, we meet the Viking ghost boss. Here we make use of our popcorn ammo again, and we defeat this boss really easily. We just can't forget to dodge his hammer attack occasionally. We just have to wait until he lowers his shield, and then we can shoot on his head, repeating the same thing left and right. Defeating him gives us the Viking boss achievement, and defeating him without getting hit gives us the Lost Viking achievement. When we go back outside to the captain, he gives us a new upgrade to our plunger, a green one this time, and it also gives us an achievement called Ancient Treasure. We tell the captain we got rid of all the ghosts and the boss and politely ask for the Viking's diary. But it seems like he lied to us and he doesn't really have the diary. But at least he gave us something. After going back to our plane and opening the map, we get the World Tour Viking ship achievement for also getting every mandatory item here. Now we go back to the North Pole. Remember that giant hole we couldn't cross earlier? Well, now we can. This green plunger sticks to flying enemies, So all we have to do is shoot one and hang tight. While we hang, we also have to dodge projectiles and enemies coming towards us. We cross a really easy section where we just have to run and jump across the platform without falling into the icy cold waters. And after a while, we find some ice blocks we can destroy with our bubblegum ammo. Here we have to be careful of these sea lions that try to eat us, but it's not too difficult. Here I was just destroying some ice blocks and I found the Viking diary. Speaking of luck, it also gives us the Frozen Diary achievement. When we have the diary, we make our way back to the top so we can read it in clear daylight, because the cave was too dark. But then the unthinkable happens. Pete kidnaps our nephews and we can't trade them back for the diary. Hard decision. But at the end, we decided to give up the book. We get back to our plane to follow Pete as fast as we can. When going back to the map, we get the World Tour South Pole achievement for having every mandatory item here. Back on the map, we see we can only go to one more place, the hideout. Here we are in some sort of jungle vibe level. The level is filled with enemies and traps. Birds fly above our heads, piranhas trying to eat us, and snakes dropping down on us. Once we take another trip with the minecart, we are in some sort of factory. Nothing special here, just the Pete enemies and the turtles. Going up the lift, we meet Pete. He hired 2 snipers, but we try to get rid of them as fast as possible, while Pete goes down and gets his Dr. Eggman-like machine. When we stand under it, he drops a heavy magnet on our heads. So we just move in circles, damaging his head whenever we can. When we deal the final hits and defeat him, we get the Beat Pete achievements for defeating the boss, and for defeating the boss without taking damage, we get the No Competition achievements. Very clever devs. We take back what's ours and we read the diary. It reveals that the map we got from Dracula must be dipped into water to find the real location of the treasure. So when we dip it in water, a hidden location shows up on the map called the island. And we also get the World Tour, the Hideout achievement for collecting every mandatory item here. This is the last level of the game and it shows, because the enemies get tougher, the platforming trickier, and our lives getting depleted. After learning the level a bit, we finally make it to the next section inside of another temple. Here we have to dodge sharp spears coming out of the ground and fight these duck-like stone creatures that only walk when we don't look at them. Here the game tries to trick us again and makes us think that we are stuck in an endless loop. But after spending some more time looking around, we find a secret passageway on top of the moving platform we can of course reach with our plungers. In the next section, we are at the edge of a castle's window, with no clear end where to go. Here the game tests our reaction speed because the platforms only appear when we get close to them, after we jumped. The game really wants us to lose here. But eventually I make it through the window and we meet the final boss. A duck in armor called Sir Duck. He sends his flying sword towards us while we try to dodge stone blocks falling from the ceiling. We bait out his sword attack 3 times and we go stand in the right corner of the wall. There the stone blocks cannot hit us, while we can easily dodge his flying sword attack. We also can deal easy damage to him without having to be careful. From this spot we can also deal easy damage to him. After we repeat this for a few times, the boss finally goes down and disappears into nothingness, giving us the Quackpack achievement for defeating the final boss, the Duck Avenger achievement for defeating the final boss without getting hit, and the one-shot achievement for beating the game without using a single continue. This is another reason why I farmed so many lives. We hear a voice in the background say, "Finally, someone who is worthy of this treasure." The hidden door opens and reveals a giant golden chest laden with gems. Donald opens the chest and he couldn't be more disappointed, as we just get a plain statue of a duck princess. Tired and dissatisfied, Donald flies back to Daisy, who asks where her present is. He reveals that it's just this stone statue and Daisy gets angry. But Donald's nephews accidentally drop the statue, revealing the treasure all along. a golden necklace with a big jewel in the middle. And that was it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching it as much as I did playing it. I want to thank the Retro Achievements community for making this possible, and especially to Theme, Mel EU, and GamerPup UK for creating this set. Let me know your thoughts about this game in the comments, and let me know which game you want to see next. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.